Okay. Hi, Glenda. How are you?
Good. Good to see you.
Nice to see you too. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
So, as we were talking about before we got on, you are a musician and you know Stuart Epps or you know of him. How do you know of Stuart?
Well, I was actually introduced to him through a really good friend of mine here in the US, and I happened to be in the UK. And so I ended up calling Stuart and said, "Hi, I'd love to meet you." And he said, "Come on over." So I came over and we hung out for the day and talked music. And we were talking about some possibilities, maybe working with Kiki D at the time. And because I had a song called "Change" that I was remaking and redoing, and so we were talking about that, and we just kind of stayed connected off and on. And it's been a while. I haven't talked to him in a while, but
Well, yeah,
really,
Stuart was working with Kiki back in the 70s. I mean, was this that long ago?
no, no, no. This was 2008, 10. I can't remember,
Oh,
something like
okay.
that. But they're friends, and so he just kind of was. I think she was acting in a play or something. Maybe I was working on my show, Never Give Up, I think. Anyway, we were just kind of messing around with some ideas.
Yeah, I didn't know if she was still active in music or not because I remember him telling me about she was opening for Elton John at the time. They were on
Oh wow.
tour.
I just saw Elton John. I just saw his show. It
Oh, did
was
you?
phenomenal.
I saw
Phenomenal.
I saw Elton twice, one in 74 and one in 84.
Wow.
Haven't seen him since then, but
Yeah, he's got his Goodbye Yellow Brick Road tour right now, and it's extraordinary.
I thought he was retiring. This is one of
Yeah, this is it tour.
the
Yeah,
farewell tour. Yeah.
right. Yep.
I think the
Yep.
Stones have had about six farewell tours.
Oh, have they? Okay.
All right.
No, once you're a live performer, artist, you just don't want to. I mean, unless you're not into playing out, but these guys cut their teeth on that. So,
Well, that's true. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your music. I mean, you've been doing this for a while, obviously. Um, Tell me a little about it. What kind of music is it? I haven't listened to it yet. I will.
okay, good. It's I really it's hard to pigeonhole it these days because I have so many influences that I love to bring in. So, for lack of a better term, I would say blues, R&B, soul, dance. It's interesting. I just did the Rock and Blues Festival in Edinburgh and Scotland, and they were like, "Yeah, it's like hip hop meets blues meets." They couldn't figure it out either. So I'm like, I don't know, but I it's music of the heart. It's my love, my passion. I've been doing it since I was professionally since I was 16. So I'm just here doing my work and giving back to the planet the best way that I know how, and that's through lyrics and higher vibrational music that goes into the spirit more.
Oh, well, that's great. Do you write your own material?
I do. I do.
Super. How
I have,
many? This used to matter, but how many albums have you put out now?
I think I have 8 now.
Oh, okay. Great.
Yeah. I started a little late in life, but as far as making albums, doing my own music, I started in like 91, 92, writing, doing a few albums here and there with other artists, and then I just kind of took a little hiatus, and then just in 97, 98, just really took off with writing, like writing and singing and performing my own stuff. So,
Okay, so you've been in the music business before the internet and now after the internet. How did you manage that? How did you find the transition to digital and downloads and all of that? Good, bad?
I love it. I'm one of those people that I love technology. I embrace it. And, one of the main things was I was fortunate in when I moved back to California. I'm in California. So I moved back to California, and I ended up meeting a really good friend. who was way into Apple, way into computers, and he gave me my first Apple computer. So from that moment on, I've learned and grown with the internet, with technology, and my music partner now, Gene Williams, who's also a mastering engineer, and he's amazing. He's the one that like helps me with all tech and all that kind of stuff, but I learned too, so I'm not tech illiterate, I guess, completely. So I love it. I mean, I love the blend. I love going online and doing these things. I love meetups. I love, performing online. I prefer humans to just a green eye that's looking at me. But, it all works, you just send the energy through and hopefully you can make that connection. If you make the connection in yourself, you get to make the connection with others. So
I think it's a two-way street because the market has been so saturated with so much music,
Yeah.
and not all of it is wonderful. So,
No, exactly.
And then the good people have to kind of try to wade through all of that to get heard. So even though the opportunity is there for you to put yourself out there, it's almost as more difficult to get seen and to get noticed because there's so much other stuff up.
I say everybody and their dog's now a musician.
It's true.
Those of us that have worked on our chops and worked on, I have voice lessons. I practice every day. It's different working with an audience, as you would probably know yourself, than just being online or whatever. But yeah, that is the conundrum that we all are facing, and that I've talked with many of my fellow musicians that are like real musicians. It's really challenging because you're like, yeah, me and 25,000 other people, trying to find your market, and it's like it's not as easy or difficult back in the day, because back in the day you usually, the only way through is either you got your local regional and then you had a label come and find you, come and look, they scout you, right? And then you go with the label and then they do all the pressing and they do everything. But now upside, that lowers the market. Maybe it doesn't unsaturate it, but it still lowered it. Not everybody and their dog thought that they were an artist because you had to play an instrument. But then you get the other side where contemporary, where you can actually, as an artist, put your stuff out, do everything yourself, whatever, right? And have access to a lot of things. Fabulous. But then you have all the hats as a record label. You've got to market, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. It's like, wow. And then if you don't have a team and all this other stuff, it's upside downside, right?
This was one of the conversations I had with Stuart, actually, because he was getting very frustrated with the amount of submissions he would get from people who boasted about the fact that they did everything themselves. And they thought of that as a good thing. He thought of that as a bad thing. Because
Agreed.
he wanted to find somebody who was a great singer or a great guitar player or whatever, or a great writer. That's it. But when he got all these submissions that said, I did all the singing, I did all the instruments, I wrote everything, I produced it, I mixed it, I mastered it, and it's like, there's no way that anybody can be great at all of those things. It's impossible.
Exactly.
And this is what the internet has done to people, because it's also DIY, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and at some point, it's such a tough road, because you're like, do I need to do everything? Do I need to be proficient? Well, I'm not going to be, and that's why I myself I'm excellent at singing. I'm good at songwriting, and I do both in that direction with my own stuff, right? But I'm not I can understand mix, I can understand producing, I can understand mastering. Do I do that? Do I want to do that? No. It's like, that's crazy. It's like you're not gonna showcase yourself in the best light.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So he is correct.
you spread yourself too thin that way. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We've just got a few minutes left, so let's pivot over to your book. You've got a book out called Courage. Is this your first published book, or have you done other books?
No, it's my first, and it was kind of an accident. So, in a weird way, more like a challenge, I guess, for myself. I was in the middle of we were in the middle of COVID. Well, prior to that, I was in Boston, and I kind of stepped back and I thought to myself, do I have anything to share? Because I was noticing that I was helping a lot of my girlfriends through their issues, through some problems, challenges, that type of thing. And so I thought, well, do I really have something that's valid? And so I thought, let me check it out. So I thought, okay, what's important for me? Well, having courage. And I thought, well, okay, what does it take to have courage? And so I started going through my life and all the tools and all the things that I have for myself. And what I decided to do was a 10 chapter. This is how I got through courage: clarity, courage, confidence, commitment, and community. How did I create that? And so it's kind of a workbook. It's like, this is what it looks like. It's you can find it on Amazon or on my website. And the one thing that I do, that's a quick little thing, but the one thing I do, if you do buy a book or a CD, my single, excuse me, or the EP, excuse me, I will plant a tree. So that's one of the things that I love doing is refurbishing, planting, planting trees. That's one of the things that I love to do. So
for everyone who buys a book, you plant a tree?
Correct.
Where do you plant the tree?
I just planted a total of 60 now. I planted 20 in the UK and then 40 here in California.
Wow, that's great. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. Is the book, you said it's kind of a workbook, but it's generally speaking about courage and confidence, and would you call it a self-help book?
Yeah, I guess it's in that category. It really spotlights, how you can really take on your own life, your own self-expression, and really create this divine truth for yourself and express that, and then make it through your challenges on your own. Like, this is what I can do for myself, creates purpose, empowers and creates confidence and freedom. That's what my intention is for the book. So it's this combination of, it'll tell you some stories, it'll give you my stories as a musician, as an artist, and then it also gives you like little antidotes, and then you can and then hey, answer this question kind of thing, and then you can help yourself negotiate through life on some level.
Okay, so it's not specific towards performing artists. Basically, anybody.
Exactly, anybody can
benefit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We just got about a minute left, and I wanted to touch on Global Badass Goddess.
Yes.
Oh, what is that?
Well, Global Badass Goddess is what I would call a group of, well, it was several things. It was a magazine. That became my YouTube channel. I interview women from all over the world that are, and people in general, actually, but now, because I've spread it out, but that really have embraced their own empowerment and have shared their life stories and what they've done in life to make a difference. So that's being a badass goddess. And for me, being a badass means beautiful, accessible, daring, abundant, savvy, and sassy. And that's badass means for me. So that's how I've coined that. So all of us badass goddesses should just embrace that and step forward.
Okay, so this is basically your kind of an umbrella brand name. Yeah.
It is. And I have my book under it. I was doing workshops. I'll have an online workshop in the future, once I get past all my music videos, all my music stuff that I'm doing right now. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, Glenda, we got to wind this down. We have just ran out of time just like that. Thank you.
Darn it.
Thank you so much for coming on. Do you have a website you want to give out?
I do. It's mine. It's Glenda, Glenda. Last name is Benevides, spelled Benevides. .com. So it's GlendaBenevides.com. You can find everything there. Global Badass Goddess stuff, my book. You can buy the book there. You can buy the music. I've got the EP. I got the new song out called Lulu White, which is being considered for a Grammy this year. So under the Roots category. So fingers crossed.
Oh, well, best of luck. I hope that works out.
Thank you so much, Douglas. I really appreciate you taking the time and being with me. And it's nice to know that we have similar people in common.
Oh, absolutely. It is a small world, you know?
It is, right?
All right. Take care, Glenda.
Thank you.